Why did Ezra Miller get caught by the police?
I don't know, man. He wasn't fast enough.
He wasn't flash enough.
Oh, come on. Come on. It's not even grammatically, like, makes no sense.
Well, you know, Fresh Prince, you know. I tried, man.
Oh,
it wasn't a banger like last week, but
No, last week's holds up.
yeah, what's up though?
How much, man? I saw that the Flash is in it pretty deep at this point, it seems like.
He apparently DC came out and said we are not moving forward. So real quick, this is an update from our, what are we gonna call this? The Ezra Miller Flash update.
DC update.
Up week by week. So they've came out and said that we are not moving forward with any movies or projects involving Ezra Miller right now. So I don't know what that...
It's hard to believe that
Yeah.
he was involved in any projects to begin with, beyond The Flash, obviously. Which, by the way, what's his name from that did It? Andrew Muschietti or whatever his name is. He's directing The Flash. I didn't realize that.
The most recent iteration of It.
Yes, correct.
And then It 2. And
1 and 2, yep.
Okay.
And yeah, so it seems like they actually got like a decent director and writer behind it. So it's kind of it'll be a little bit of a shame if it winds up being good, I suppose.
yeah, I mean, there was a lot of talk. You know, I said, you know, my house is, you know, we trust Michael Keaton. Apparently he's in it. And there's a large investment into this Flash movie because it's apparently going to be set, the arc in the movie is going to be Flashpoint Paradox, which is like the Flash's primary, like it's the story that is set around him and kind of changes the DC universe. So I think they were going to use this movie as a cornerstone to kind of explain all of the different iterations of characters and how their multiverse really works. And Ezra kind of fucked that up. So
He's out now.
yeah.
But that's what happens when you break into people's rooms and threaten to kill them.
Yo, I'm still convinced it's drugs.
I've not seen any report on why specifically he did it.
It's unfortunate. I don't ever want to see anybody, you know, dealing with, you know, bad shit. But
Of course not.
under the guise of a quick laugh, it's hilarious.
It's pretty good. On to a more positive note.
Yeah.
This is what we're drinking on this episode. We've done a really bad job of talking about the things that we drink on the show, which is hilarious because the show is like kind of born out of that. So we've done probably 6 or 7 episodes now. And we've done a really bad job.
We just kind of shouted out. You want to like talk about
It
this
was
for a
just
second?
sitting on the table. So this is Sagamore Spirit. So if you're from Maryland, this will be familiar to you because it's made here and it's kind of a big deal. Outside of Maryland, not so much probably. But you could find it. But this is the rum cask finish. So this is in the reserve series. It's a little spicy. It's a little different. So,
Broke out the good stuff for me.
yeah, more or less. You know, it's kind of new and interesting, and it's got a fun label, a turquoise guy. So
Yeah.
you can crack some of that off if you want. I already did, and then feel free to pass it around so everybody gets a little taste of that.
Yeah, and people who are not familiar, Sagamore is by Kevin Plank, who owns Under Armour. So
this is true.
yeah, so if you know Under Armour, you should get to know Sagamore. And,
Says the guy wearing Nike.
well, the fit. It's the fit.
There goes our
you know?
Sagamore investment.
It's the
Right
fit
there.
for me. But I got some Under Armour stuff. You know what I mean? Shout out to Kevin. I'm gonna try some of this rum cask finish real quick.
Give it a shot.
Speaking of It, did you hear about the prequel series coming?
I did on HBO. They're working on it. They said.
Is it supposed to be the same? Is the same guy? What's his name? The It director?
They haven't made any announcements, I don't think, about who is going to be leading the project. I think they just said that it was in development. Like they had just kind of kicked it off.
Right.
We might have actually briefly mentioned it on an earlier episode.
Is it going to be about how Pennywise got his powers or how he killed?
I think it is going to take place considerably, like, further into the past. Like it's going to be almost like a period film or series. Like,
Is he going to be like Groundskeeper Willie. Remember that episode?
Something like that. Look at you getting all worked up.
She likes Groundskeeper Willie. So yeah, I wonder what that's gonna be like. Fiverr.
She's talking. Oh, thanks, dude. Appreciate
All right.
it. All right.
Let's see what this is about.
Everybody take a little sip and then, pass your thoughts on to us. While you're taking that in,
I got some bite.
I started watching Severance.
All right.
So I'm 3 episodes in on Severance. I think it finished though this week. Is that right?
This Friday.
Tomorrow will be the last episode.
All right. I love that. By the way, Josh is back.
Y'all hear that? We got Josh back.
What up? They announced season 2, so I have no idea what happens other than the fact that
they're going for it.
Yeah, they're going to do season 2 that was announced earlier this week. And so we'll dive into Severance in a second, but initial thoughts on the rum cask finish. Are you familiar with the other Sagamore
I'm familiar
Rise?
with their kind of baseline. I've purchased that for myself. I think you had the what is it, like the top shelf rye over here not too long ago.
I've had a lot of
Had that, and I think this is like the 3rd version of their. I'm sure I've had it before, but I haven't
Yeah, I get you.
But this is good. It has some bite. I like it.
All right.
You want to rate it?
2 thumbs up, man.
Oh, we just 2 thumbs up.
Well, you can, however you want to rate it is great. I don't really have a big preference. Thumbs up.
Thumbs
I love
up.
it. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I agree with you. Touch of a bite. Not as smooth as their double oak or things like that, but
It's not incredibly smooth. It has a little bit of a bite.
correct, yeah.
But if you are a whiskey drinker, it's more of a familiar taste.
It could hit for you.
Yeah,
I get
it's a
that.
familiar taste.
I agree. I get that. So Severance, how far are you into it?
I'm up.
Oh, you're fully caught up.
Yeah,
Now-
that's my thing.
Okay, so you're all the way in.
Yeah.
All right, great. I will ask some questions that don't spoil it
Okay.
for me, seeing as I'm only 3 episodes in.
3,
Like
okay.
a loser.
Okay.
Let me think of my questions.
Okay. If you're not familiar with Severance, it's on Apple TV Plus.
Okay, so
Adam-
did you see the last episode, or are you pending
Yes.
on that?
No, I saw it.
You saw it. So the season's over.
Wait, no.
Yeah,
tomorrow is the
Tomorrow is
yeah.
okay. So you don't know the conclusion of it yet.
No.
All right, great. So that's fine. And is it 8 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 episodes. All right, great. Does it? It feels slow to me. Does it feel like a slow burn to anybody else? And does that continue for the rest of these 7 episodes that I have waiting?
No. It picks up.
Or
It
not
picks
7,
up around 5.
Right, yeah.
End of 5 and 6.
So
it goes.
I got a few more episodes left of a slow burn, and then we kind of ramp things up.
Yeah. Episode 3. Remind me of episode 3. Of what point?
So
that is.
episode 3, he's got PD in his basement.
Yes.
And he's sneaking around.
Yeah,
What's her face?
okay.
The neighbors
All
come
right.
in.
Okay.
She's lurking in the
Yeah.
basement.
Mrs. Selvig. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some payoff.
Yeah, because I'm 3 hours in and I'm feeling like
Nah.
it's good. It's not that it's not good. It's definitely a good show. I've enjoyed it. I really have. But it has just been kind of starting to drag a bit.
I would agree with you. I think they kind of designed it to maybe hook you in a little slowly,
Yeah.
and then
And then
yeah,
it
like
kinda
Courtney
winds up.
said, yeah,
It winds
it'll
up.
definitely wind up.
All right, I'm excited for that. It has some comparisons to Westworld a little bit.
I can see that.
From a
I can
a
see
theology
that. Yeah.
perspective. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I feel like there's some of the ideas are very overlapping. And it's
You
even kind of
can-
filmed in some of this, you know what I mean?
Kind of that.
Some-
It's not 35 millimeter, but it's kind of. It has a weird grainy kind of.
It's almost got like a Super 8 or a High 8
Yeah.
like feeling to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And the darker or
bitty,
the tones of the the colors are all kind of muted. And
Right. It's It's fun. I enjoy it. I think I definitely agree with you about the Westworld kind of theology, where you kind of go into this place, and you are in some instances, well, in Severance you are completely detached, but like in Westworld, I don't know what happened in Westworld. I gave up on that, but
you tapped out on Westworld.
I tapped out, bro. After
what season?
2. I couldn't. Once I got through most of 2, and then I was like, all right, I kind of like vicariously caught up with my wife watching it, and I just want to like peep in and like
that shocks me a little bit. I'm a big Westworld fan.
It was losing me. It wasn't keeping me.
In what ways?
Once we realized that Jeffrey Wright was also a robot, not a robot. What are they? They're humanoids. They are
definitely not humanoids, but I get you.
You know what I mean? They are androids, I guess.
They call them something in the show.
I can't remember years ago now.
But I can't recall specifically what it is they call them. It'll come to me. But carry on with your thought.
They once we got to the Jeffrey Wright reveal, and I just was kind of like, all right. There was no major payoff for me. There was nothing that I was watching it and it happened, and I was just like, oh, like my investment wasn't returned. Just for me, like I just was like, yeah. Okay,
all right. You've seen none of the 3rd season?
The 3rd season has the bull from Breaking Bad, and he's like in the city. He's a worker.
Yes.
Was that any good?
Very good. I'm a huge Westworld fan, so I'm a little biased. It's hard for me to say. I think that it's fantastic. The 3rd season, everything really amps up and scales up considerably because we leave the park, which is not a spoiler. It's obviously a given thing.
And it goes into like the
into
city.
the real world.
Okay, just like me to
and it's
blow my load early.
Pretty crazy.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll take some time and kind of jump and just kind of like reacclimate myself.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Okay, because I was I love like the sci-fi.
Doesn't sound like it.
I do, man. I love all that. You know what I'm saying? And it just, I don't know. Westworld was just not. It just was not giving it to me, and I just couldn't. It just couldn't keep me. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah,
you're forgiven, man. It's all good.
But I'll do that. I'll get back into it.
Yeah. So I give Severance some decent marks. It's been pretty good. I've enjoyed it. Not too far in. So
now, for me, the payoff for Severance, and not to spoil it, I'm not going to spoil it by any means, but
try not to.
I think there are some full circle moments, and I'm all about the full circle moments that give you the payoff in the show. And there's a few of them that happen towards the later end of the season.
Okay.
And then you're like, okay, who's your favorite character on this so far?
That's a good question.
I'll give you mine.
Yeah, give me yours. I'm not really sure. I feel like I'm still kind of waiting to get.
You're still learning, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Belichick. He reminds me of a supervisor or a manager at Apple.
Damn.
He's very like uniformed and like, you ready for your waffle party? Like, so fucking weird.
Everything is a procedure.
You're right. He's like, everything is like a process. And
I do love that. That's good. That's good. Spider-Man news.
Oh, wow.
Sam Raimi. Talking a big game about Spider-Man 4, which I can guarantee you nobody asked for.
Every week with the Sony shit show. So Sam Raimi came out and says he would want to come back for Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, he wants to have a job.
Well, he just did Doctor Strange too, which is I would think is a major payday. Like apparently, pre-sale is like through the roof for this new Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah,
and I am. He also did. No, that was the other. What was the other guy? I was thinking of Shyamalan, who did The Servant. So sorry, confusing him. So I don't. I'm not familiar with anything he's done after Spider-Man. So it was a shocking reveal for me to know that he's doing Doctor Strange. So of course, now that you got a platform, anyone who has a platform and is asked about, would you come back for this? Of course they're gonna say yeah, because they want to get a check, right?
Yeah.
So
Tobey Maguire's a touch too old, though, I think, to be
yeah,
his
I think
suit.
I don't want to see a 40-year-old Spider-Man without the introduction of like his predecessor. Sure. You know what I'm saying? And I think bringing back Tobey's Spider-Man in No Way Home was a clear indication of like that was it. That was his full circle moment. Like, I'm old, my back hurts. He made the puns to, him being old, and I'm all grown up now, and I'm just here to kind of close that chapter. And that was fine. I don't need to see him again. Kirsten Dunst came out and said she would come back. Of course she would fucking come back. You want to get a check?
What is she doing?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, where has she been? She's living off Spider-Man 2 money.
Oh, for sure. Of
course she wants.
She's still chilling with those weird British teeth.
Good God.
Which is funny because as you say that, I'm scrolling through just looking at pictures of her on this article, and
you
see her teeth in none of them.
What's her latest movie?
That's actually what I'm trying to figure out here, and I'm having a little bit of trouble.
IMDb. Let's go.
Yeah, I know.
Rotten Tomatoes. Let's go.
Sam Raimi says, I've come to realize after making Doctor Strange that anything is possible. Really anything in the Marvel Universe. Any team-ups, Raimi said. I love Tobey. I love Kirsten Dunst.
I love Tobey.
I think all things are possible. Okay. All right, Kevin Garnett.
He's like a preacher.
She's done
nothing.
Really a whole lot of nothing. A podcast series. And nobody, who cares about podcasts? Am I right?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Right.
Yeah, a minor TV show. Her last real appearance was in Fargo in 2015.
Oh.
Fargo was
and
bad.
she was in an episode of Black Mirror in 2017.
Everybody was in
she was?
That's what she says.
That's what she says. Okay.
Oh, uncredited.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Yep. Uncredited.
Yep.
Who was she like a...
She played Agatha Christie in an episode of Drunk History.
Oh.
I love Drunk History. You watch Drunk History?
I've seen it. I don't watch it like continuously.
I've seen it.
Is it continuous? Like they continue doing it, or is it over?
I don't know, but it's just amazing every time I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of... they ended it, it looks like in 2019.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some of it. I was going to say, I'm definitely not current on it.
As a person who drinks on camera for this activity,
yeah,
I could not imagine getting that wasted and then doing this.
We used to drink heavy on this show.
Yeah.
We used to drink heavy.
Yeah, like almost killing a bottle.
Oh, we killed
bottles.
definitely did a few times. There are episodes, like I said this on our previous episode
that didn't come out yet.
There are episodes that we never released
because it was just me slurring,
because it got too out of hand. It was so bad. My face was super red. I made no sense. I looked so stressed out.
Is it just me or is it hot in here?
Yes.
We were trying to hold it together as much as possible. Yeah. And it was just slowly just pieces of me falling apart.
Oh my gosh, I was having the worst.
Not good.
There's nothing worse than when you're when you're too far gone, but you really have to try to hold it together. It takes so much effort and there's no payoff.
None.
Zero payoff.
None. It's just, you're just embarrassed with yourself. Much. You're intoxicated. You can't recoup the time. It's, it is what it is, man.
Well, with that,
yeah.
Let's do another one.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey said he's out of the game, which I thought was a little strange, but at the same time, he is a little strange.
I thought that was weird because...
Isn't Sonic the Hedgehog taking off?
Yeah, it's
aren't they doing a whole universe?
They are ramping up for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which they're clearly going to get the third one because now they're introducing Tails, they're introducing Knuckles for all the people who are Sega heads back in the day.
Isn't he the main villain?
He's Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, doesn't he have to kind of stick around?
Yeah.
Unless they're going to transition into somebody else?
There is nobody else. There's no other villain in Sonic. It's always been Dr. Robotnik.
No, I know, but unless he's going to hand the reins to somebody else.
I think he's just talking. I think he's just talking to be talking.
Yeah. They really dragged him into the whole Will Smith controversy. Or I guess he kind of spoke out about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, not to continue on the Will Smith controversy,
talk about it.
It's incredible how that really has continued to snowball.
When you smack
Instagram
somebody
live
on
videos
TV.
coming out, everybody's getting interviewed about it. I'm actually starting to kind of like look at Will sympathetically a little bit. I've seen some of these like videos, and I'm starting to think that like Jada's like, she's not doing weird shit to him.
I said that. I think he might be like her. Like,
did you watch the Instagram live video where she's like kind of like getting after him about
doing it? Like he shouldn't have did it. Like
about where he like didn't respond to her Instagram video or whatever. So she's kind of like questioning him about it. Like on the, he looks so weird. Sad though.
I'm not the one to necessarily judge others' relationships, but I don't know where this came from or how old this video is, but I saw a video in relation to all this chit chat about it last week where it's the two of them sitting sipping tea or something, and he basically says, well, you know, it was around that time when what remind me what you did again. She's like,
oh, you're talking about the red table talk,
maybe,
stuff
right?
That they
and
do
they're
on
going
Facebook.
back and forth trying to.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, you could call it he were consorting, sure, yeah, like.
They're just weird. This is a weird celebrity couple. And their interactions are never very just like fluent. Like I'm just with my wife. It always seems very strange. Very
almost like they're always on for the camera
all the time. Yeah. And I couldn't imagine just not sharing just a simple intimate moment with my wife. You know, we're just at an award show, you know, and for every time you step out of the house, you got to just put on. Like, you clearly see pictures of, like, other celebrities when they go out, you know, and, you know, for lack of, like, they just kind of, like, you see pictures of, like, Ben Affleck and J-Lo, and they just go to fucking Trader Joe's, and they're just wearing, like, Vineyard T-shirts and like they're just
sweatshorts and
they're just being like, but with Will and Jada, it's always something for the camera. Like it's never just them being normal.
Never like low key.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she does like voodoo.
Interesting. Yeah. Anyway,
and she's from Baltimore. I don't know a lot of Baltimore people that do voodoo.
I think she's from like Timonium or something.
Yeah, they bought Cal Ripken's house up there in Hunt Valley, and they lived there for a few years. But yeah, I think she's from.
Say, do you think they're there now?
Right, we could go ask them.
Yeah. So we'll take this on the road. Right. Knock on the door.
On scene.
He opens the door, smacks me.
That's all I came for.
That's it. That's all we wanted.
It's starting over.
He's like got PTSD. He's just smacking people.
That's all he can see.
We're gonna start getting alerts about him just roaming around Wegmans up in Timonium, just smacking people and shit. But,
smack and run.
Yeah. Apparently that's like where a lot of the Maryland celebrities are like migrating to. It's like the Timonium area and shit. I heard like a few Ravens are over there now, and like Owings Mills was like the got a little riffraffy over there. So now they're like all over in Timonium.
North a little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The North remembers.
All right.
Yeah.
Damn. So anyway. Jim Carrey doesn't sound like,
but
there's a lot of confidence in him dipping out.
He it is strange because he comments about, and I am no one. You guys have known me almost 20 years. I am no one to pull anybody's card with the craziness I've done in the past. But for Jim to talk about Will is kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. Like, some of that in Living Color stuff is not aging too well, buddy. You know what I'm saying? So I would just kind of like, take a back seat when it comes to, acting a fool. So, and he's done allegedly. He's allegedly done some uncomfortable things in his personal life too.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, so.
It's Jim Carrey.
It's Jim Carrey.
I mean, it's hard to imagine he didn't.
Right.
It cannot be a clean past.
At all.
Cannot be a clean past.
But I don't think he's done. I think he's just living in the moment. He cashed that big check from
Sonic 2.
From Sonic 2 and was like,
hell yeah.
I don't need to work for like the next 5 years. I can pay off whatever I gotta pay off. And
gotta paint some shit.
I'll pull a Nick Cage and buy a Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton. fossil.
Everybody is raving about the new Nick Cage movie.
I
It
don't
has like
know.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
The
Everyone's
one where
saying
he's
it's the
the
best
vampire?
movie he's ever done.
He's the vampire.
The one where he's himself, where he plays himself.
I don't know. I don't know what you're
Nicolas
talking
Cage, he plays himself.
about. What?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
What?
Have we not talked about this? I'm pretty sure. we've talked
No,
about
all
this.
I've seen
Okay.
are online of Nick Cage is him dressed up for this vampire movie.
What vampire movie?
Right. Is it the same movie? Am I tripping?
I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Can we
I'm looking into it.
All right, so he has a movie coming out where he plays himself in the movie.
In a movie.
Yes.
Wait,
And it looks incredible, and everyone's raving about it.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yes,
is the name of the
that's
movie.
the name of the movie.
if that's not jerking your own wood.
And
what the
apparently, it's got like 100%, and it has like maintained that for weeks now. And everyone is saying that it's the best thing he's ever done.
Wow.
When does it come out?
fuck? Is it like eligible?
I think it premiered at South by. April 15th is the official release.
15th.
What?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yep.
Is
That's
it-
real close.
All right. Well, that's on my radar now. But Josh, can you let me know I'm not crazy and let me know if he's making a movie where he's a vampire?
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Okay. I swear I've
He
seen
just
this.
did you see his comments about Ghost Rider?
No. I know he was Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
What did he say?
made comments about it. He was talking about how like I think it was supposed to be a comedy. He was saying.
What?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very strange. Very strange, man.
He's strange.
The film is called Redfield.
So he is doing a film as a vampire.
Yes.
Okay.
What's the release
Some-
date on that one?
Some photos.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never seen that photo.
Yep.
Don't
Two
know what
different-
boards you're on.
We live in two different
Yeah,
worlds.
no kidding. Never seen that.
We live in two different Nick Cage multiverses. In my world, he's a vampire.
I can see that. Well, you want to dive into Moon Knight a little bit? You want to talk about that?
Pause real quick.
Oh.
What's up?
At
tell.
Renfield. I misread that, and it's next year.
Ren-
April
Comes
of
out
next
because
year.
he's still shooting, right?
It is, yes.
Okay. You want to end with Moon Knight, or you want to talk about
What
Obi
else you
Wan?
got? Obi-Wan.
Obi Wan has been pushed back.
But not by much, right?
No, just I don't know the official pushback, but it's been pushed back, and now it will debut with 2 episodes rather than 1, like WandaVision did.
I love it. I just put it all out at once, I say.
Yeah, sometimes I think, and I just want to real quick because this is still Disney Plus related. Moon Knight is. How do you feel about actors returning to roles? Because right now, currently, there's a trend around it. Actors returning to roles like 20 years later.
I mean, I think it can be very successful depending on what the role is and who the actor is.
Okay, we saw.
Like some things don't age well,
Right.
and the person that played the character
Doesn't
does
age
not.
well.
They just don't age in a way that carries like the story forward. I think effectively, if that makes sense.
Right, we saw William Dafoe and I can't remember his name, who played Dr. Octopus, return for No Way Home.
Yes.
I think they did a fabulous job.
Yeah. So like that works for me. I feel like that is good. I like that. I enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so I was saying that to say now, Hayden Christensen is supposed to return as Darth Vader.
Sure. Yeah. I think everybody's excited about it. That's definitely fan service. He was
Yeah.
always very, I feel like, supportive of like that character and that fan base,
Yeah.
and I feel like he really gained like some notoriety.
Is he weird?
I'm sure he's weird. I don't know. I have no reference for that.
I think
but
he's
he
weird.
seems like a strange guy. But no, I think that's great. I think that people love that. I think that it makes total sense. I have
Okay.
no problem with it, to be honest. I mean, who else are you going to put in that role?
No, you absolutely.
If he's around and willing to do it, and they can, make anybody look any age they want these days. So
Yeah.
if he's down, I think it's great.
he's definitely gonna.
Let him ride.
I think if they're gonna bring him back, they're gonna do some helmet off moments.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I bet you there'll be a lot of helmet off moments.
which is tough because Vader is ugly.
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I think we'll get him without the helmet a lot.
It's fucked up.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. So Moon Knight, you're caught up.
Caught up. 2 episodes in.
All right, so we can talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it. Gotta be honest, a little bored.
Really?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Not so much with the story. So I think this is what I've arrived at conclusion wise. I've been thinking about it a lot. I think I've kind of outgrown the origin story narrative, if you will. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm really tired of watching superheroes become superheroes. I kind of just want to like be into it.
That's interesting because I think the dynamic of this is kind of different because he is the superhero already.
Yes.
We're just learning the backstory.
He kind of, yes, that is true. But you're really experiencing it as if like you're getting to know him for the first time.
Yeah,
He's getting to know himself. Like there's all those moments where he's like kind of fighting with Mark about whether or not he wants to give up like control of the body, and I'm kind of like, let's go, like let's do. I want to see something cool, like let's go.
Well, I think that kind of comes to a head, not a head, but they kind of tackle that like immediately at the end of episode 2.
Yeah, they do. They do. I'm not saying that it's not going to get better. I don't dislike it. None of those things. I just felt like through the first 2 episodes, I was kind of ready for him to be Moon Knight.
Just be in it.
Yeah, just kind of like bought into it because it's only 6 episodes long.
Yeah, he has to be Moon Knight.
I feel like by the time he's like really wheeling and dealing, it's going to be like the end of the season, which has been my only criticism of Disney plus Marvel's shows thus far is it feels like the first 70% of the series
is set up.
Is kind of set up, kind of slow, not really like as exciting. The only one that I maybe felt like that wasn't the case was maybe Loki. But I felt like the characters and the people in the show were so interesting, and we were very familiar with.
Yeah, we had spent 10 years with Loki before the show came out.
Yes.
So I don't think they had to really give us the deep dive.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about Ethan Hawke as Arthur Harrow?
He seems good. I've enjoyed him so far.
Okay.
I enjoyed his character. I think so there have been some criticisms online about the like CGI on the show. Have you read about any of that?
I have seen a little bit about the Disney Plus CGI in general.
Everyone was kind of complaining about the car chase scene. If you remember from episode 1, the CGI was not super solid.
Yes. Okay.
Which I can agree with. It was a little soft.
There were some soft CGI moments. I think his cape isn't very fluent.
Yeah.
It's very video game graphic.
Yeah, we're really going to tear this show apart.
Let's get into it.
Because I've got complaints.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And maybe
I love it.
Maybe you can help clear some things up. You know the character better than I do. There was a lot of talk going into it. So back to the CGI thing real quick. I think that there are some clear misses. Like there are definitely moments where I've been like, that doesn't look super great.
Yes.
That looks
I can agree.
Kind of lame.
That looks Marvel has very much put themselves on a pedestal with their properties where, especially with like the Infinity Saga, where the CGI is flawless. So now we're moving into TV, and I know it's TV, but it's still the same studio.
They've been scaling back the budget spend.
And are we scaling back? Like, are we?
They're all working from home.
That too. Pandemic's over, bro.
Yeah.
Get your shot.
So,
they're all chugging along on their 2012 MacBook Pros.
Ooh.
get them back in the office.
They're on.
Get the Mac Studios going. Let's
They're
roll.
on Mojave right now, bro.
Okay, so another interesting piece that I was kind of looking forward to because they were saying how like this was a more like grittier, a darker.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Marvel show, and I was like, okay, that sounds great. Let's do this. And I'll admit, it is scary at times, especially when what's the guy's name?
Khonshu.
Khonshu shows up.
Khonshu is fucking.
All right, so here's what I don't get. When Khonshu rolls in, he's doing it in a very traumatic way, which seems counterintuitive intuitive when you're trying to approach somebody
Your
who's struggling.
avatar, yeah.
Somebody who's struggling with
He's
multiple
not-
personalities. So
no
you think you would
bedside
come
manner,
in a
yeah.
little softer, right?
Yeah.
It's like they did it just for like the spooky factor, which I get. It does work. I'm like, damn, that's terrifying.
That
But-
first time we see him in the hallway, I was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
But does he also not sound a little cartoonish? To you?
I kind of.
He kind of sounds like a
And that-
storybook narrator.
Can we pull up that voice? Who is voicing Khonshu? Because it's familiar to me, and I have.
It's F. Murray Abram.
He's from. Please tell me he's from.
It's from a lot.
Yes, it's very familiar, and it was the first time I heard it. I wasn't scared. I was like,
He kind of sounds like Winnie the Pooh.
he's not.
He's
the
not.
voice
It's
isn't
not. It's
scary.
not Winnie the Pooh,
yeah.
but like it's in the same space. You're kind of like,
Mark.
oh, yeah, yeah.
It's not a scary voice.
No.
It's-
His
No.
biggest credit recently was the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Interesting.
it rings no bells with me.
Great.
I know
Who?
it. The movie.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So he's
I stand by my statements.
the voice is a little cartoony.
It's
but
very cartoonish.
but-
I feel like that was Disney's way of like
softening the blow.
softening his character. Like, let's scare some kids, but at the same time, let's make him sound.
Yeah, like episode 2 when he's talking to him at the end, and I'm looking at it, and it's just literally a floating head with like
Yes.
strings attached to the neck. I was like, that's uncomfortable. My wife doesn't do any type of like stuff like that, and like we're watching it, and she's like, no, I'm like, no, I can't look at him. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, he looks terrifying. If I were to see
he
him,
does look scary. So I don't know. I'm assuming he's a good guy. This
no, he's a
isn't-
terrible person.
Is he
He's a terrible god. Yeah,
in the show or sorry in the
in
comics?
general, like.
he's a bad guy.
No. He is literally what they say he is in the show.
Where is the hero story here?
The hero. So
Who's the hero? I'm
Moon Knight is
confused.
supposed to be the hero, and the story of Moon Knight is kind of on the edge of vigilanteism, anti-hero, because he will do what's needed that most heroes won't do, or
Okay.
that Deadpool
Yeah.
kind of like he will just kill someone because they need to be killed, like that, and be done with it.
But is he listening to Khonshu, or is he going
No.
to at some point take over and kind of do what
No.
he wants using his powers?
No, Khonshu never takes over. He just finds people.
He seems to be like providing the instructions
Yeah,
step by step.
He's manipulative, right? Very manipulative, and man, there's a 2016 Moon Knight run. I'm sorry, I don't remember who the writer is, but that run specifically is what the source material is for the show, and it talks about how, and you can see it in some instances where like where Steven is the same person, but Steven is Moon Knight. He summons the suit, and he's fighting the Jackal, but no one can see the Jackal.
Yeah.
So that alludes to the psychosis of him being with the multiple personalities, and the book alludes to, is all of this in Moon Knight's in Mark's brain, or is it actually happening?
But
right?
don't the powers in like the suit and his abilities all come from
Khonshu?
Khonshu?
Yeah.
And can't Khonshu just bail at any moment and find somebody else?
It's kind of a 50-50 deal. Like, I
Somebody
agree.
has to invite him in.
Kinda. Yeah. It's like, do you want to be my avatar? And I have to say, yeah.
Seems like a lot of people would
yeah.
be like, yeah, let's do this. And then he would just be like, I'm out of here because Mark, you're an idiot.
Well, you also have to relinquish it. You can't just.
Oh.
Yeah, I would think that there's like some ceremonial.
Thing that has to
Yeah,
happen. Some
I have to
transference.
relinquish the role of your avatar. He can't just take it away. It's a symbiotic relationship, because he can't come into. He can't just step outside of the spiritual realm.
Okay.
Right. So for Khonshu, he's just kind of like, he can't do anything to anyone. He can like slam his staff real hard and make some plates fall. but that's elemental. But for the most part, Arthur Harrow alludes to it like he's harmless without an avatar, and which not most gods, but pretty much any kind of deity or spiritual essence in the Marvel realm or comic book realm, they can't really do anything to the human plane, the earthly realm.
Okay, so Ethan Hawke, his character, how does he fit into all of this?
That's funny, man.
Because it seems like he's able to. Seems like he has tapped into something.
Yes.
Right? And he's got a staff.
Yes.
He's got all them boys running around with the tattoos.
All the boys.
Which the tattoos, the worst CGI. Every time they showed like the little like scales, I'm like, just get rid of the scales, dude. Why are we doing this?
Definitely.
Everything's good, just bail on that.
Those are definitely tattoos done off of like Broadway. Like down by the pizza joint.
It was terrible.
Down by Max.
It looks so bad.
They're not.
Or it's a bar and a tattoo party, whatever, wherever they get them.
Tattoo party tattoos.
I also feel like the animation of them is unnecessary.
Well, it has to kind of show the judging of the skins.
Yes, but
the animation of it is terrible.
But I feel like come up with a different way to represent that.
Yeah.
Is that like specific to the comics? Like, is that a thing?
Well, Amit, this now we're getting into like actual Egyptian like lore.
No, I know, but like in the comics, do those characters have scale tattoos that move?
Oh, that I don't know.
As he judges people.
That I don't know.
Because I feel like that was creative license that somebody at Disney came up with.
I feel like they just came up with that for the show.
I would have bailed on that one.
Yeah,
I would have come up with.
I think you just
else.
get a tattoo.
I mean,
when
he
you join
does
the cult.
take the staff and balance it back and forth.
Yeah.
That seems like enough of an indicator that, like, oh, he's judging people.
Yeah,
I don't need the tattoo animations. It really erodes.
That's his like red light, green light. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't get it, man. But you could like just have the staff light up a certain color, or have the staff do something that indicates, you're
if
die.
it points to me, like it's swinging back and forth. So if it points to me, like
every time I see those tattoos moving around,
those
I'm
are
like,
terrible
oh,
tattoos.
This is the worst.
But Amit is the god that he is the avatar for now, because he was formerly the avatar of Khonshu.
Yeah.
And
so at some point he relinquished that. He was like, I'm out. I'm going to go after another deity or god.
Well, these gods are incredibly manipulative, right? They want power over the earthly realm, and they can't. So they have to have these avatars to do so. And their justification is, I want to battle vengeance. I want to stop vengeance before I want to stop.
But at what point does somebody's at what point does the hero story kind of get established, or does that never get established? Like, is he ever going to be a character that is beneficial in the Marvel universe, like in the overall?
He's kind of like he always kind of operates within his own. He's kind of, people say he's like Marvel's Batman. He kind of always operates within his own sanctity of his neighborhood. Like he never really, he joins the Avengers like once in a while, and like every time he does, it's kind of like a comic pun because they never know who they're dealing with because he has multiple personalities. It's always just kind of like a writing.
It seems like he would be really hard to utilize as a member of a team.
Yeah, because it's he's sick. He's a sick fuck.
Yeah. It's even hard to see how he would do constructive things even on his own at this stage. Again, there's plenty of episodes left, so I'm sure that changes.
You gotta get there.
But it seems like even Mark isn't really doing constructive things with him.
No.
It seems like Mark is just working for him.
All of his journeys and battles are always completely isolated to his world. There are very, very few story arcs or things that happen in Marvel comic book lore that include him operating with other people.
Got you.
And if they do, it's a real quick thing. Like he sees like Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's like, "What's up, Mark?" And he's like, "I'm not Mark, I'm Steven." And he's like, "Okay, Steven." Something. He's like, "Sorry, Mark's back." And he's like, it's just Seems
like high risk. I don't know if that happens.
Oh, he's very high risk.
I don't know if that happens.
But his sole duty is to kind of keep all of these gods at bay and kind of work in that range. And there are other people who kind of step in and want to manipulate the power of these other gods, and he has to kind of keep them in check. So he never really exists outside of his own neighborhood. So
Okay. All right.
if you're looking for like a super deep investment, like for him to like, do something like world saving, I doubt that will ever.
Doubt that's ever going to happen. Okay.
So maybe for the next show, I'll get to see if I can find that 12-year ride.
Dude, I keep an eye out for that. It's tough to track down.
Basil Hayden was a wonderful.
Yeah.
Basil Hayden.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I almost opened that one tonight.
The Basil Hayden?
Yeah, I did. Maybe when we're done, we can tap into it.
Give my kids drunk bastards.
I recently I was at a liquor store recently, and they had like these Basil Haydens that were like this big. They were massive.
I've seen those. Like, what's the point?
It's like an anniversary bottle.
Massive, dude.
I
I almost bought one just to have it, but I was like,
And that's the point.
like, just to keep it, I guess.
Put a spout on it.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I don't know.
Turn it upside
have
down.
everybody over and just get them wrecked.
Keg stands on the whiskey
My
bottle.
God, bro.
It's gonna be like a 30-minute party. We're just gonna we're just gonna go 100 miles an hour for 30 minutes and then just tap out.
Somebody's
amazing.
car is getting left here that night.
We're all gonna be home by 8 o'clock. We're just all gonna be wrecked.
Wrecked.
Sounds kind of amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Who wants to party until midnight and then try to stumble in the
Nah,
door at
man.
1 o'clock?
I'm good for a nice 7 to 9 o'clock.
That's a really good consolidation.
Yeah. Like, we're just going to go super hard for 60 minutes. We're all home by 8 o'clock.
The power hour.
paying for our decisions.
Yeah. Dinner from 5 to 7. We drink from 7 to 8. Bed by 9.
Shots.
Sounds amazing. I love it. Oh, goodness gracious. What else is on our list of things to discuss? You wrote quite the list of show notes.
Sherlock Holmes is getting a show.
Wasn't there supposed to be a third movie?
Yeah, it never happened. And I think it's being reverted. I don't think Robert Downey Jr. wants to act right now.
Yeah.
I
He
think
could take some time off.
Yeah, he did 10 years as Iron Man, Sherlock Holmes, and what other weird Disney magician shit he could do. So
wasn't he was it Dr. Dolittle?
yeah, Dr. Dolittle, and he did.
Is that what he was?
Yeah,
When
it was
he
Dr. Dolittle.
He was
right?
with all the animals?
Yeah, and that wasn't good.
Yeah, he looked bizarre in that.
Yeah, I am not a fan of people with beards and like no mustache. That shit's weird to me. So him being Dr. Dolittle with like a beard and no mustache,
That was a little strange.
very strange.
Yeah, interesting.
So on top of the movie not really being good, and if you're gonna follow up Eddie Murphy's Dr. Dolittle, which was like childhood gold, you gotta go all out. And I think they kind of went the extra length with the CGI on the animals
Yes.
rather than the story.
Wasn't the Eddie Murphy Dr. Dolittle a little bit more catered towards like an older audience? Am I wrong about that?
It was modern.
The
It was
humor was a little bit more.
Yeah, 90s humor is like totally inappropriate.
It was a
Yeah,
wide spectrum,
yeah.
right? So
It's
I feel like was it Disney that did the new one? I don't know who it was.
Disney did the new one.
but they really like catered it towards.
Did Disney
I
do the
think
new one?
kids,
Yeah.
right?
He did the new one, but the new one is more akin to the original Dr. Dolittle book.
Right. He talks to
Interesting.
yeah. And it just wasn't, I don't know, it
Good
just
to
didn't.
know.
He was just very strange. Which, I mean, you talk to animals, like who even knows if you're really talking to animals? Like that's that's up for discussion. But Eddie Murphy did such a great job in his prime as Dr.
Yeah.
Dolittle.
I wonder what he's doing.
Eddie Murphy?
He really dipped out.
Oh no, he gave us a shit show of Coming to America too.
Yeah, but aside from that, where's he been? That was an Amazon thing, I feel like. Wasn't it? It came out on Amazon.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sure Amazon bought it, but somebody
It was
was
a
like,
pandemic gift.
somebody
to
was
us.
like, yeah,
It was
we
terrible.
can get a lot of cash for this. Let's go.
Yeah, it
and
sucked.
he was like, all right, fine. A pandemic.
I think this is probably the most obscure fun fact I have about Coming to America too. They shot it at Rick Ross's house, the rapper. They shot the whole movie.
Rick Ross.
They shot the whole movie at his house.
The whole movie.
The whole movie was shot
at
at his house.
100% of it.
Yes.
Interesting.
Ridiculous. Shows you how much money Rick Ross
That
has.
sounds absurd.
Yeah, but Eddie did Coming to America. He did Black Dynamite, right? And now he just signed on for something else. And I'm sorry we do that. It slips us.
Has he been doing any stand up? Did he do stand up back in the day?
No, I think the most, yeah, he definitely is stand up legend. But
I feel like a lot of those guys have been like kind of coming back and
they have
doing
to.
stand up
Yeah, they have
again.
to. Yeah.
Well, there's another Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Supposed to be with Kevin Hart, and he's supposed to be like kind of like passing the reins,
Yep,
right?
yep.
But never. We haven't seen it get legs yet. And yeah.
Speaking of losing legs, Bad Guys 3, right? Or the new Bad Guys? Is there a Bad Guys 3?
Bad Guys. What?
What am I thinking of?
Bad Boys?
Bad Boys. There we go. That
There
is
we
it.
go.
Boom.
Yeah.
Great.
That got put on
Bad
hold
Guys.
because of Will is.
That's our show. That's our thing, guys. That's our
We're
thing.
halfway through that bottle.
That's our thing.
Will,
Bad Boys. Is it 4 or 3?
this would be 4.
It is 4.
4.
Okay, so there was one of those lined up, just to bring it all back to Will.
And Will
but
fucked it
apparently
up.
that's no longer the case. That's no longer
Yeah,
accurate.
and I just Will having his slap, and then like this shit happens to celebrities, man. Like you are making hundreds of millions of dollars. Like Martin Lawrence ran through the streets in his boxers with a pistol, and he recovered, made Bad Boys 2 and 3. So I think Will be okay. I think Chris Rock will be
fine,
okay.
yeah. I think these people certainly move on.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right.
Do you think it'll impact I Am Legend 2?
Absolutely not.
Okay, great.
Yo, you know what's funny? The 2 nights Oscars were on what? Sunday? Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. I very rarely watch cable, but I was trying to find TNT to watch a basketball game. And as I'm like watching and scrolling, every Will Smith movie was on TV.
Oh yeah, dude, those leases are
I Am Legend,
up.
Bad Boys 1, Bad Boys 2, Hitch, all of them, every channel. They
Hell yes.
were letting them fly.
Independence Day.
Independence Day, they were letting them, like, you couldn't turn the channel and not see a Will Smith movie. You think
Love to
his
see
slap had something to do with them? Like they're like, oh, we're gonna
Love to
pull
see
these
it.
movies. So
Get them all out of the vault. Let's go.
yeah,
My gosh.
it's crazy. You somebody piss you off and you slap them. Now your movie's gonna get pulled. That's crazy.
I don't know if the slap was so much the issue, more as, stopping the show and ruining the night for everybody else. And,
I imagine, like, and this is kind of a full circle thing for Will, like the Hollywood HRs, like the Men in Black. And they all just pull up to everybody's house that was involved, like, so like, we gotta erase this, right?
We gotta start this over.
We gotta start this over. Yeah. So yeah, but back to Sherlock Holmes. RDJ has signed on as executive producer, which means he's basically going to pay for this shit.
Yeah, it means nothing.
It means absolutely nothing.
Means
He's just going to
nothing.
pay for it.
Yeah.
And what's his name? I'm butchering this name. Is gonna executive produce it with RDJ. So it's no word if he's gonna star yet.
I
doubt.
This
I doubt
feels
it.
like
it's gonna be a prequel. So
This feels like he's. I don't know. Could be. I'm thinking of
the
miss.
way he
I'm
was
thinking of miss here.
This is such a hot take, but the way he was talking on the Joe Rogan show back like 2019, 20, he was like, he's done. Like he's made. Marvel cut him so many checks.
Dude, they're still cutting him.
And there's like for the
He's on payroll.
yeah.
he's
just
set.
Yeah, he's just getting it back.
He's not coming. I don't think he'll.
Also, in like 5 years, he's going to drop again in a Marvel movie somewhere, and people are going to lose their minds.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He'll be back in some form or fashion, but I think right now he's just using his time to catch up on the life he missed, and he's had a tumultuous life. Another guy who these celebs, bro, they just be.
Listen, I'm trying to do the same thing. I completely.
You got to start taking your pants off in public places more, blend in. You
gotta do a little nose
You'd
candy.
think. Well, I've been doing that too. It's not really working out for me. A much different response.
The Crow gets a reboot. Were you a Crow fan?
I was not a Crow fan. I remember the movie.
Me neither.
I don't have tons of thoughts on it outside of the fact that he died filming it.
Yeah, Brandon Lee.
Which is like kind of a wild thing, which is I think really where the cult status came from, is just the fact that he died.
Yeah, because the movies weren't good.
And it seems like there has been hesitation to reboot it. I don't know. I don't just redo it.
It's back with Bill
get it out of the
Skarsgård, which is
the Skarsgårds are in everything.
they're in everything.
I'm so tired of saying that last name. It's hard to say. And they're in everything.
His brother is in The Northman, which comes out on the 22nd.
Yeah, there's a lot of
him and William Dafoe.
6 of them.
I don't know what The Northman is about. I just see the commercials and I'm like, I'm tapped in. I want to see it.
So The Northman
is it a play on Game of Thrones? King of the North?
No, it's a Nordic like Viking story of
it looks
essentially revenge, or avenging his family, if you will.
Yeah.
But they say that it is exceptionally brutal. The same guy that did The Witch and did The Lighthouse, Eggers, I think is his last name. It's his film. His first like big like kind of I don't know,
theatrical.
Yeah, I mean, The Witch was in theaters. I went and saw it, but it was kind of like an indie film-ish.
The Witch. That was like she was like killing goats.
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah. It was kind of like Nordic living.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay.
I was in love with that movie.
I liked it.
That was an exception.
I liked it. It was, I like a good scary movie.
The Northman is apparently a Nordic play on Hamlet.
Boom. There we go.
See, that's why you're here. Okay.
They say that it's extremely brutal, very violent, but everybody's been raving about it.
All right.
Like a lot of hype.
The commercials look menacing.
It looks intense.
Yeah, it looks really intense.
Real intense.
I might see if I can steal a couple hours and actually go to the theater.
I'm very excited for that.
I don't really go to the theater to see anything but Marvel movies in this current landscape. But this is one where I'm like, I might go see it.
Might try to get out for it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
April 22nd, put it on your calendar.
Yeah, I might do that.
I'm feeling the same way about that.
All right, you want to wrap up with what are you watching? What you watch this week?
I feel like we kind of started the show with that, interestingly enough.
Severance.
It's all good. Trying to think if I watched any movies. I don't think I did. I think I've been Severance. I was in on that. 90 Day Fiancé. Before the 90 days, I've been watching that.
You got to get on the Love After Lockup train.
They're in the tell-all episodes now, which is like where everybody confronts each other, which is the most fun. So that's what you watch the whole season for.
For everybody to talk about each other. Yeah.
Yes, you get them all in one room, and then you just really.
I just don't. Apart. There's always a shocking reveal. Like
that's what we're here for. Yeah.
He was texting other girls, and like that's the reveal, and we're all just like, "Damn, he was doing that the whole time."
You wouldn't watch the show unless somebody was doing something real shitty.
Yes, that's what we're here for.
You're just waiting for that moment.
He was doing that the whole time on TV. Baby girl Lisa.
Baby girl Lisa.
Hey,
we've talked about this a few times, but are you watching the current season of Before the 90 Days? Like, are you familiar with Soulja Boy and all that?
Soulja Boy, yeah.
Yeah, but like, have you seen it? You know, his girlfriend, his girlfriend,
Kimbali. The current 50-year-old white woman.
Kimbali.
Yeah. Kimbali.
Yeah. What do you think about that whole situation? Because I love it. I mean, she's an idiot. She brought him a PS5 and a MacBook Pro.
Oh, he's winning then.
Yeah. And then the funny part is he tried to give them back and she was like, no, I'm not taking them. And then she was like, I'll take the MacBook Pro.
Yeah, you can
Because
always
that's a
pawn
carry
that.
on. Yeah, of
You
course.
can always get a good.
No one's lugging a PS5
$1,000 for that.
back from Tunisia or wherever they are.
I mean,
That's a lot
the
of
resale on the PS5 right now on StockX is
Which makes no sense.
nuts.
How are we still?
Well, you can't just walk
in.
into Target and buy one.
But it came out like 2 years ago.
Well, that's
It's
Sony's
a
fault.
wild.
Sony does
thing.
nothing right but the fucking PlayStation, and then you can't get one. I really want one.
I have an absurd PS5 like history.
You have a? I asked you this.
Yeah, I have a PS5. Put a lot of work into getting it.
You keep it hidden. I haven't
Really hunted it down. Spent a lot of
locked
time
up.
on
You got
it.
one too? You got one, Josh? You game, Josh? No.
No.
If he did game, he's 100% gonna game on a PC. He's not fucking
I
around
don't
with
know.
these
Maybe, yeah.
PS5s.
He will be.
I got
yeah,
an
he-
And
N64.
Xboxes. No, he's not doing that.
That's as far as I got.
Josh definitely would build his gaming.
Well, you know, like all these kids were writing, like they were running all these bots and all these like scams.
They love the mods.
To basically
Yeah.
they were just buying PS5s before they even became available.
Yeah.
Like kids figured out ways to like get like Best Buy inventory before it was even live.
And they're
on the
just linking
website.
it to mommy and daddy's credit card, so when it hits, they just take
Well,
it.
they would just buy like 10 of them because you could
Oh,
resell them
oh,
for
yeah.
twice
Yep.
as much. Yeah.
About sneaker culture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They were like basically stealing the same like model. And
Which is an
applying it to
interesting
that.
thing. I don't want to deviate too far from this, but sneaker culture also. I was turned on to that, when we used to work together. What's the kid's name that was going
Oh,
buying
God,
sneakers
I
all
don't
the
wanna-
time? Real idiot. But either way.
Yeah, I don't want to say it.
I
on the
bought-
I was so
microphone.
surprised at
I
people.
bought 2 pairs of like collectible Nikes at one time, thinking that like this. Is
You were
the life.
doing it?
I was like, yeah, this is the life I want. And so I got 2 pairs of Nike. By the way, neither of them fit. Different sizes. I still don't know what size Nike I wear, and I just recently sold them. Actually, small profit, nothing too big, but they sat in boxes for like 5 years.
I hate sneaker culture. I hate it.
Yeah, it just blows my mind.
So
It's ridiculous.
anyway, the PS5 thing is kind of similar to that. I had JW write like a script where it would try to buy PS5s for me. Like, he would just run it.
I feel like we talked about it. We went to dinner maybe
Yeah,
a year and a half
probably.
ago, and you were talking about trying to get a PS5.
No credit to JW because it did not work.
Shout out
par
to
for the course.
JW, man.
He did a terrible job and it did not work. I actually had to buy it myself.
None of those verbs
I
met
was,
the.
I was out here hunting Best Buy. I'm a lonesome. But, what do we do?
Yeah.
We all trust the wrong people at one time or another.
You want a villain of the week?
Sure, let's go. We've also totally stopped talking about bad guys, which was the original
Yeah,
concept of the
like,
show.
we just kinda stopped.
Well, let's just talk about bad guys and bourbon, yet for some reason we've produced like
Nothing
8
about
episodes
bourbon
with
or
neither
bad
of these
guys.
things. Here we are. Bad
I was gonna go
guys.
in depth into Arthur Harrow, but I just feel like it's more fun to just pull a random bad guy out of the sky and just kind of just get your hot take on him real quick.
Okay.
So in the vein of, you saw,
I think neither of us should pick this person.
you think so?
I think we should cast this out. Let somebody else pick
Like,
this.
like just a random bad guy.
It's not going to be me.
You got a random.
Oh,
you got
man.
anyone. It doesn't matter.
It could be anyone. Anything.
Anything.
It could just be inflation.
Right. It can be a concept that's bad.
Yeah.
This is my degree. Let's go with Putin.
Vladimir.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Wow, that went hard.
We're an hour in. We don't have time for that.
Wow.
If you
grief.
forced me to
Comment.
pick one, I would have picked like one of the idiots from Home Alone. Like I would, just as a joke. And maybe I should have.
But yet here we are with
You
Putin.
know, Putin.
We got super political. All right.
I don't look at myself as a super heavy political guy, but when you do bad shit, you are unfortunately classified as a bad guy. And when multiple people are saying what you're doing is bad, if the shoe fits, you gotta wear it, bro. And unfortunately, yeah, man, that's a super bad. That's bad guy of the week is
He does
Vladimir
not look,
Putin.
He's not looking real good for
Yeah.
his brand right now. No,
No,
he's doing a lot of
they're looking like
damage.
the schoolyard bully right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
prayers to everything and everybody. That's
Marvel doing bad in real life.
no, he's like
Yeah, more or less.
He's like Ethan Hunt, Mission Impossible bad. Like he's kind of rough.
I had a theory, and the only person that can probably confirm this would be Emily, because I told her about it many times. Actually, JW, you could call him in and ask him this question. But when the whole like pandemic thing set in, and like we were kind of in the throes of it, I had said a few times like somebody is going to take advantage of this situation in a hugely negative way, and I was like Russia or China is going to use this as an opportunity to get shitty.
I'm
'Cause
surprised it took this long.
I
yeah.
thought it was going to come a little earlier.
Yes.
I really did. But I was like, this is the point in time where everyone, I mean, they're literally the weakest they have been in
Yeah.
God knows how long. I mean, everyone. I mean, the United States, obviously, we had our own issues for sure. But like, there are so many other countries out there that struggled so much worse than we did. And it's like, this is the time.
Well, China really
everything is on sale to a dictator, right? Like that's
Yeah.
how they're
Yeah.
looking at it.
Yeah, a fire sale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think China got a lot of backlash for COVID, and they were hit extremely hard by it. So I don't think they were really.
Yeah, when you're doing damage control, you can't inflict much
they
damage.
they couldn't really make the moves they wanted, and I think the whole Putin thing is crazy. Like he's a child of the USSR, and he comes out of the let's get the good old gang back together. So there's a whole history there, and coincidentally, Ukraine was the catalyst for the dissolving of the USSR. So there was a lot of I want to pay back, what was done. It's just wild. I think the crazier aspect of what's wild to me is like they always talk about, yeah, we've had talks with, like, what are y'all talking about? Who is meeting are y'all like on Skype? Like who is?
That's a great question because they can't all be getting it. They're not all
Exactly how
they're not all getting in the same room.
Like
because Putin is extremely afraid of COVID. Actually, he is terrified of COVID.
Interesting.
that's nuts to me because if he's a war criminal, quote unquote, and we're trying to catch this guy, like, why is he sending representatives to meet with people? Or are all these meetings on zoom.gov? Just nuts to me. It just makes no sense. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah.
I also know that like this is how international politics works in diplomacy, where you start a war and then you go to peace talks to stop the war. But it's your war that you started in the first place, and then everybody comes to you and goes, "Okay, well, we won't do this. We won't do this, which we were never doing in the first place. If you just stop doing what you didn't even need to do in the first place." And then there's back and forth.
Because he wants something.
Sure.
He wants territory. So in order to get territory, you have to start conflict. Hopefully, the other side will concede and think that they can't win, so you'll get what you want.
It's all chess game.
Yeah, there's a
Yep.
there's a Lex Friedman podcast recently, and there was somebody on there talking about kind of like the dynamics of war and how basically like two sides can really make, like, if they come together in the beginning, they can really forego a lot of like the life loss and the suffering and all of that,
course,
if they're
yeah.
willing to really have honest conversations about what it is that A, like they're capable of, and B, what they want. So like the theory was like if you can kind of predict the outcome of a war based upon factors that aren't really related to war itself.
Of course, yeah.
So like you can kind of determine like what the outcome of the Ukraine-Russia scenario is going to be without there being any war, because you can look at Russia's military, their leaders, what their strategies are versus Ukraine, and like what the conflict points
It's
are.
just playing
and you
Madden
can kind
football.
of like
Yeah.
you can kind of like move the pieces around and make the determinations. Like he was kind of predicting, I guess he kind of offered up his insight as to like what the outcome was essentially going to look like in that altercation, and that basically you can arrive at the same
Conclusion without loss of life.
before the
Yeah.
loss of life. You can just like do the math essentially and just kind of pinpoint.
We
where
live
you're
in a
walking
digital
out.
world.
Yeah.
Everything can be solved with math.
It's
in
very
transaction.
interesting.
Computation will solve any
Yeah.
conflict that
Yes.
will arise. But yeah, man, bad guy of the week is Vladimir Putin.
Bad guy of the year.
Century.
The bad
Jesus
guy of the
Christ.
decade, my dude.
And I also like my last take on war. I why do you want something you're gonna just blow up? Like that makes no sense to me. If I want your car, Josh, I'm not gonna blow it up so I can take it from you. Like it has no
here's the
value
thing.
to me, right?
It's not necessarily the want of your car; it's the rights to the car.
So it's my ego.
And like the principle of
Yes,
it too.
My
it's-
ego. Yeah.
If I want let's say I want your house.
You gonna blow it
I
up?
want you to blow up everything around your house to make sure that you can't necessarily properly use your house.
It's stupid. It's a stupid concept. War is so archaic and antiquated.
Yes, this is
Yep.
Yeah,
Just-
but it also sets a precedent too for like, so because I think ultimately Putin wants more than Ukraine. I think like ideally he would want more than
He
that.
wants the band back
So
together,
if he does all of this to Ukraine, it kind of like lets everybody else know that like, hey, like this is what I'm willing to do. So let's get to the table and figure out, you know, an alternative. Otherwise, we're just going to do the same thing to you. So you kind of have to set the example with one country, unfortunately,
Yeah.
of what could be done to others. So I don't know.
I just
It's
imagine
dicey.
he wears like a cowboy belt buckle and like
I just see him shirtless all the time
Shirtless.
on
Yes.
a bear, like that picture.
Yes.
riding a
Oh, of
horse.
course.
Yep.
He
A
is
horse bear. It's the same thing, you know.
fucking.
Have you seen all the pictures of him at like really large tables?
Yes.
that's just yes. COVID.
This is a hilarious thing.
He's scared of COVID, so he.
But
wants-
it's also like an old English monarch type thing, you know, like the Middle Ages type scene,
like
with a
King Arthur and, like,
with a huge
round
like
table.
I love
table and
That's such a hilarious concept to me. I love the idea of just having like massive tables to meet at and just putting like two dudes on the other end and just like yelling down to them.
and talking through a box. Can you pass the salt? Like it's just ridiculous.
makes me think of like Christmas Vacation when he walks into his boss right in the beginning and he's at a similar huge table with a big pile of presents. Give me
Yes.
somebody, give me anybody, give me somebody while I'm waiting for that
Yes.
someone.
Oh my gosh! Shout out to Chevy Chase.
Goodness gracious.
All right, man. Well,
It's a long episode, dude. But that's enough for this week, I think. I think we can
yeah.
wrap it up.
Let's wrap it.